Good morning. We're on the Coquihalla. Box Canyon chain up. Pulled over here, took a little break. Time to hammer down again. It's pitch black outside. I know, another night video. This is what our load looks like, all nice and tarped. It's basically a load of plastic decking, like really hard plastic decking. Slippery stuff, but heavy, 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 heavy. Very, very heavy. So yeah, a little chilly up here. Oh, didn't look at the temperature. So we're gonna have a hard climb all the way up the Smasher. So we're parked right up before the Smasher. So hard climb up the Smasher and then back down and then Larson Hill and see how that goes. See how that goes. Hammer down. Help if I release the brakes. Happy Thursday. Man, what a mess the last couple of days have been. A lot of sitting around doing nothing, that's for sure. Four-way flashers on. Got our own lane here. No trucks are allowed to be in the far left lane, so we got 3 lanes going uphill. And I don't think I'm going to be able to use my bright lights on this highway. Too much traffic. So we're coming right up the Smasher here. Going to go through the bare snow shed at night over here. That should be kind of neat. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't think I've ever recorded it. The road's wet, so it feels like I don't have any lights on. So yeah, bare snow shed in the dark here, and we'll see what speed we get to climb up at. Right now we're doing 25 miles an hour, 40 kilometers an hour. It is 3.5 degrees Celsius according to my gauge, but we were stopped there for a bit. The heat of the engine probably warmed up the thermometer, so we'll check again. Oh, it's actually dropping right now. It's down to 3 degrees, plus 3 degrees Celsius. There's the big avalanche wall on the right-hand side. Losing speed. down to 25 kilometers an hour, 15 miles an hour. There's the bare snow shed. The highway itself is not a dangerous highway. It's just the amount of traffic on a highway. This amount of traffic during a snowstorm. I thought there would be a snowstorm up here today. They had forecasted 5 centimeters of snow, but it looks like it's holding off. Went down to 22 kilometers an hour. So, I was saying I sat around a lot the last couple of days. Let's get into that. So, you guys saw me coming down Anarchist Mountain into a Soyuz. Stopped in Manning Park overnight. And then just waited for my appointment time for the ferry. So crossed on the ferry, waited till Wednesday morning to deliver on the Sunshine Coast. Showed up at 7 a.m. They had a bunch of lumber in the unload zone, so it took them like an hour and a half to clear that out. Showed up at 7 a.m., but they didn't start unloading me until like 8:30. Man, that truck that passed me, that last one, smells like burning oil. So they started unloading me, had the pup unloaded, and they flew the last panel from the pup. And then at the top, they dropped the panel. Smashy, smashy. Some 2x4s went flying off of the building and landed on the sidewalk on the ground. Luckily, no one got hurt. Nothing really got damaged other than some guardrails and stuff like that. So they lowered, or the crane operator climbed out from the top, climbed down and filled out all the paperwork, and then did all the inspections on the crane. And well, started to just do inspections, and then they came up to me and told us, we're going to be done lifting for the day. Come back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and don't worry, we'll get you unloaded right away. We'll be ready to go 7 a.m. No lumber is going to be in the way this time. Okay. Drove 2 blocks down the road, found a spot to park near an A&W and grocery store. Bit of a strip mall area. Not in their parking lot, but on one of the streets nearby. Excuse me. Returned there early today morning. Only to find out somebody had come by and dropped a whole load of rebar in the unload zone. I showed up at like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, I want to be there ready to go. And when the crane guy came in, he goes, "What is this? Who dropped all this rebar?" Apparently one of the other contractors came by over in the evening and dumped a whole load of rebar in the unload zone. He craned this guy, goes, "I'm so sorry. It's going to take us a while to clear this out." So I sat there again. $10:15 I was out of there, but not before. Down the alley in front of me, a utility truck clipped the power line. And now the power line was laying on the ground. Well, part of it was laying on the ground and part of it was at an angle overhanging the alley. It was messed up. Excuse me. For some reason I can't talk again today. So I drove over the power line that was laying on the ground, very nice and slowly. And the one that was hanging across, I'm like, can I get someone spotting me to make sure my smokestack doesn't snag that power line? Luckily there was just enough room to get through. It's a little foggy up here. That's it, we're at the top. Not quite, but pretty much. Got to the ferry, and they told me there's a 60% chance that they'll load you on this first ferry. I'm like, woohoo! That's more likely to get loaded than not. And whoo, that was close. It was close. In fact, I technically didn't quite fit onto the ferry. The line that they have to have all the trucks, all the vehicles behind, my trailer was slightly overhanging that line. The emergency safety hatch for their emergency steering or something like that was under my trailer, so they told me, it's like, hey, can you listen carefully if all of a sudden they're paging for you to get back here, and if there's an emergency, we need you in your truck, and those carts in front of you, you're going to be forced to smash through them, smash into the cars in front of you to clear that emergency hatch. I'm like, 10-4. I can do smashy if I'm told to do so. It's not going to hurt my truck. we got here? Is that just people parked on the chain-off area? I think so. Speed limit 100 kilometers an hour. I can do that. Minus 1.5. And then I crossed on the ferry. Got to the loading location here. We're in Langley. That's kind of cool, the waves of fog. That's really neat. I like the fog like that. That's cool. Going down, it's not super steep down. Just kind of let our engine brakes do the work. Got cruise control set at 101 kilometers an hour. And there's a discrepancy on this load, a couple of discrepancies actually. At first it was, all my dispatch said it was a tarp load. And I told them where I wanted the tarps, and they're like, no, we never tarp this. I'm like, okay, let me call the boss. The boss goes, let me go, I'll call the customer and double check. The customer is like, yes, I do want it tarped. It's like, plastic decking, you sure you want that tarp? Yes, want it tarped. Okay. As long as there's no misunderstandings and I'm gonna get paid to tarp, let's go tarp. Not a bad load to tarp. I won't complain about a load like this to have to tarp it. I'll take the $100 to tarp. All right. And the roads were wet. I turned the lockers on. I wasn't sure what I was getting into. And a load this heavy on a steep grade like that. Even in the summer, it's helpful turning lockers on just to get the extra traction so you're not spinning your tires and burning tires off. Well, on a hard climb like that, turning your lockers on in the middle of summer will save you tires. I mean, you don't need to. Oh yeah, that last little rest area, that's where the toll booth used to be. This next rest area is a nice big open rest area. It's heated, running water, lots of parking for trucks. Never seen more than 3 or 4 trucks in there, and there's spots for a lot more. Is that brake lights? More brake lights? More brake lights. Speed limit's 120 here. I'll let it run downhill. Got up to 110. Road's drier over here. Still wet, but drier. I think what we're going to do is head down to Merritt and get some fuel there, top off on fuel, and head to Kelowna for delivery tomorrow morning. I think we're going to Oyama to pick up a reload there before heading home. So we'll see what the weather looks like tomorrow with the snowstorm forecast, but I bet it's going to be cloudy. If it's going to be cloudy, it'd be nice if there's a snowstorm. Now, as far as my speed, I'm doing 115 down that hill. Trucks in British Columbia are speed limited to 105. So I talked to CVSE officers, and at first they didn't know how to answer my question. So I have a question, Mr. CVSE officer. We are speed limited to 105. That is the law. The truck has a computer in there that will not allow us to accelerate after 105. But if the posted speed limit's 120, and we're going downhill, I don't see anywhere in the law that prevents us from doing 120. And they're like, well, no, it'd be 105. I'm like, tell me where it says that. And I left it with them. I told them I'll come back. I'll come check back next time I come through. And they're like, nope, you're 100% right. If you ever get a ticket for doing 120 in a 120 zone, there's no law that says you can't, even if you're speed limited to 105. Now, let's say you were doing 110 down a hill and the speed limit's 100. You'll definitely get a ticket for that. You might most likely get 2 tickets. You'll get a ticket for doing 110, speeding 10 kilometers over the speed limit, and you'll get a ticket for not having a speed limiter, and then it'll be up to you to go to court and prove that you have a speed limiter. So most of the highway here where it's flat, I'm going to be doing 105 because I am limited to 105. Unless we're going down a hill, then I'll let it run a little bit. Not down Larson Hill. We're going to start Larson Hill nice and slow at the top. That's a dangerous hill to get speed on. Should be coming up on Larson Hill pretty quick here. It's nice to have all these bridges back to normal. Let the engine brake do the work down those little hills. So the Coquihalla Highway is a pretty desolate highway. There's not much for any kind of services. So you gotta make sure you get all the food you want, all the fuel you want, everything you want in Hope, in Merritt, or Kamloops, depending what direction you're going. The whole highway, the whole Coquihalla Highway's got very few stops along the way. I mean, there's some rest areas and stuff like that along the way, but fuel in restaurants, make sure you time that out right. We are going to stop in Merritt. I was going to say Midway. I was confusing myself. Midway. No, Merritt. We're going to stop in Merritt and fuel up there. I'm at half a tank. I don't need to fuel up, but might as well top off our fuel before going over the connector. Did a connector video a couple of weeks ago as a bonus video for you guys, for those of you that hit that join button in a snowstorm. That was kind of fun, actually. You never know what kind of video you're going to get, right? Sometimes the bonus videos are really cool, and other times they're the most boring video of the week. Kind of just get what you get, right? Actually, last weekend's bonuses video is kind of neat too, I think. I haven't edited it yet. And if you guys want to see those, it's a whole 25 cents per video. $1 a month. No. Ooh, scary paywall. Basically a highway just to the top of the mountains. What have we got here? Oh, it's just a oversized, oh, it's a plow, okay. Got a snow plow going up. -1 degree Celsius here as we've been going downhill. Is this Larson Hill? I see cars coming down a hill there. It is Larson Hill. Put our four-way flashers on. Whatever gear we end up at the top, that's the gear we're gonna start to go back down. Down to 15th gear. I'm guessing 13th. 14th now. I'm down to 12th gear. Yeah, I think it took gear too low. The automatic went too low, so we're back to 13th again. Slowly grabbing gears again as we go up. It's a little less steep here. think that truck is pretty much at the top of the hill there. I went to manual mode and we upshifted. Interesting. Well, I'll just downshift when we get to the top. So we are super heavy. I'm debating what we want, 12th or 13th here. I'll go 12, just to be safe. Click the fan on. Well, it already was on, but we'll keep it on.
We got a bunch like dolly pads under our fucking under canopy trailers for trucks running along. That's all ridiculous there.
Oh yeah, 12th gear was the right gear. In fact, 12th gear is a little too tall. I'm going to have to use a little bit of brake here. Huh. Glad I went with 12. Luckily with a gear that low, just barely dragging the brake slows you way down. Let's grab 11th.
Just like that, eh? It's like, it's your own. Yeah, but not to sign up, you gotta put a freaking dolly pad. You know,
okay, we're losing speed here. Okay. Start up shifting. Quite a bit of swearing on there. I'll turn it down. Slowly upshifting so that we gain speed. At the bottom I should be at speed limit. Basically I'm letting the truck run away. started at this speed at the top, you would burn a lot of brakes. Right now I'm not touching the brakes, I'm just slowly letting it run away. Four-way flashers off. '18th gear. Letting her roll down. Fan off. Larson Hill's done. Crossing Coldwater River. And then we gotta climb again. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that little different nighttime video. Not all that scenic because all you can see is the road. Hopefully I was somewhat entertaining. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow back in the daylight. Those of you that love nighttime videos, you guys got your share of nighttime videos this week. As always, thank you guys so much for supporting us. Same with those of you that went to the GoFundMe last week's videos to help out my brother-in-law. Some funds have slowly been trickling in, but not a lot. They got denied the government assistance because apparently my brother-in-law can work in those conditions. Dude's dying in the ER, and insurance or government assistance says you should be able to work in those circumstances. It's like, dude, government suck. Just like insurance companies, right? You pay into insurance companies and then they deny you. Yeah, I should have forward flashers on. Anyhow, yeah, I didn't mean to put ourselves into a downer note. Appreciate all your support. All the people that have hit that join button, all the super chats, all the comments, the thumbs ups, subscriptions, and the views. Most importantly, the views. The more times you guys watch my videos, the more the algorithm says, hey, people enjoy watching this. So those of you that make it to the end really, really help out the algorithm. So thank you. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys rock.